Hello and welcome to another Warhammer the Old World video. Today's video is going to be about my upcoming tournament. The first tournament I've played in easily 20 years, maybe longer. Also, I am really knowledgeable about 4th edition and 5th edition Warhammer. The Old World is a new game system to me, although there's an awful lot of familiarity. There are a lot of changes as well. So this tournament's really going to be a learning curve for me, and hopefully meet a few people who are like-minded and enjoy the game. It's not really a cutthroat experience for me. It's just going to be a laugh. Learn the rules, play 3 games hopefully. As long as enough people turn up and have fun. That's the plan. So I want to take you through my Tomb King's army that I am intending to use. As you can see here, I'm using oldworldbuilder.com for their army builder, and it's actually a really good resource, and anybody who plays the Old World should really be using it. Unlike GW, there's no subscription to use this resource, and it tells you really everything you really need to know. You will of course need the rules for whichever army, the rule book. You'll need the rule book. You don't really need the journals unless there's a particular army you're going to be using that's in the journal. But I'm using a standard Tomb King army. As you can see, it's going to be a 2,000 point tournament. I've spent 1,993 points. So I'm coming in under. I could squeeze something else out for those 7 points, but there's no point, you know. Characters, I've spent 785 points on characters. Yes, it's slightly hero hammery, fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's Warhammer, it's fantasy battle. I want to see guys on big monsters with big swords. I want to see fireballs flying and everything that comes with that. To me, fantasy battle should be about fantastical encounters between tooled up guys and gals with scary stuff. Anyway, so the first pick on my team sheet is my Tomb King. As you can see there, I have painted a bone dragon. Anybody who follows me will know that. You're also going to get to see most of my Tomb King's army here. I'm pleased to say it's all painted, so I'm looking forward to taking a fully painted army to this tournament as well. So anyhow, Tomb King's coming in at 445 points. That's because he's on a bone dragon. As you can see there, the bone dragon gives him +1 to his toughness, making him toughness 6, adds 5 wounds, giving him 9 wounds. So he should have some staying power. That's the hope anyway. There's always a fear of Monster Slayer, but it is what it is. You take your chances. So anyhow, he comes with a hand weapon for free, heavy armor for free, which gives him a 5+ save. He's my general. He's on a bone dragon. I've given the Shield of Tra, which, as you'll see here, makes the enemy suffer -1 to their weapon skill in hand-to-hand combat. It also counts as a shield, which drops that 5+ save from the heavy armor to a 4+ save. It's only 25 points, and it should benefit him. Tomb Kings do have an ability that allows them to boost their weapon skill by 1 at the start of the turn. So if I choose that ability, that'll make him weapon skill 7. There isn't a great deal of other enemy characters who are going to be weapon skill 7, and even the ones that are, that shield will make them weapon skill 6. So in theory, I should get some use out of that shield. It should make it harder for the enemy to hit me. That's the hope. Of course, we shall see. So, excuse me, that's the Shield of Tra. I've also given the Talisman of Protection, which gives him a 5+ ward save. In this game, you get multiple saving throws, which I think is great. It should give things more staying power, so I have no problem with it. So he has a 5+ ward save. from the Talisman of Protection. He has a 4+ armor save. And he's also going to have a regeneration 5+ save, as you can see there. And that's just because he's an undead character. So he's going to get a regeneration of 5+, as long as nothing negates that. And there's plenty of things that do negate it. Weapons-wise, I've given him the Biting Blade. It's only 15 points, and it gives him armor piercing 2. It also has armor being 1, so any 6s that are rolled to wound, that becomes armor piercing -3. So even heavy knights are going to be in trouble. It also counts as a magical attack, so there are some things in the game which are immune to standard attacks, so that makes his attacks magical. That's before we get into the fact he's on a Bone Dragon, and the Bone Dragon has stomp attacks. The Bone Dragon has 5 attacks of its own. It has a strength of 6. It can cause a lot of damage. Excuse me. So I'm actually really happy with the Tomb King. I've had one game and he died to Monster Slayer, funnily enough. So as it's a tournament, I'm always going to bring this guy, at least initially, until I have a pool of characters to choose from. Maybe I get Cetra, maybe I get a few other characters and have a pool. But this guy has just been painted and I'm looking forward to using him. So that's the Tomb King. Next character is going to be a High Priest. Because it's a 2,000 point game, I get to choose one Tomb King and one High Priest, so I'm taking both. The reason I'm taking the High Priest, because he's level 4 wizard, and the higher level wizards find it easier to cast magic and to negate magic. So I have a plan for my High Priest and any other magic users I have. So I'll explain that plan to you as we go. He comes with a hand weapon. He's a level 4 wizard. He's on foot. He has Warding Splint. I've given Warding Splint basically as a get out of jail 5+ ward. Because he's a magic user, not going to normally be able to wear armor. But Warding Splint counts as a suit of heavy armor and a lich can wear it. So he's a 5+ armor save, followed by a 5+ ward save, and yet again, he's an undead character. So he will have a regeneration save of 5+ as well. Only a toughness of 4 and only 3 wounds. So still very killable. But I'm going to be giving him where are we? I'm going to be giving him necromantic magic. He has the ability of a special rule called Arise. I'll explain to you what that is if you don't know. Basically allows him to bring back killed models, friendly models. I've also given him the Serpent Staff, which gives him strength +2 and -2 armor piercing. This is a not intended to be used weapon. I don't want this guy to be fighting. But if the worst comes to the worst, he should at least be able to defend himself. Only having 2 attacks, with them being strength 5. Not great, but he's not there to fight. But he has 225 points, so I need to be careful with him. So that's my first wizard, or my first magic user. I never even put a picture of him up, did I? We'll see. That's him there. Not the best picture in the world. Unfortunately, very dark looking. He's not as dark as that. So that's going to be my High Priest. So get rid of that. And we'll go down to my Morcha Priest, which is level 2. They come as level 1. I've upgraded him to level 2. He's on foot. And he has the Ruby Ring of Ruin. Ruby Ring of Ruin basically gives him a free fireball spell. You'll see here. The wielder of the Ruby Ring of Ruin can cast the Fireball spell from the lore of battle magic as a bound spell with a power level of 2. 30 points. It's a free Fireball spell. I'm also going to give him Necromantic Magic. If I don't like that, I can always choose from the lore of Nakara, which is 3 more optional spells. If I roll up necromantic spells that I don't like, I can do that. Again, he has the ability Arise. Key part of my army strategy. Core units. Let's get rid of the Morcha Priest. Core units. Skeleton Warriors. There they are. 24 Skeleton Warriors. Thrusting Spears, Light Armor, Shields, Master of Arms, which is a champion, and a Standard Bearer. No Musician, because I feel a Musician is a bit of a waste of time and waste of points with the undead. Just a personal thing. Not greatly needed, I don't think. Thrusting Spear is important for me because it allows me to fight in a second rank. With them being skeletons and only being weapon skill 2, toughness 3, they're going to drop like flies. So it's entirely possible at the first rank, the entire front rank gets killed in 1 round. The Thrusting Spear allows the second rank to fight. So on a good day, there'll be 10 attacks coming from this unit. Actually 11 because the Master of Arms gets 2 attacks. Hopefully on a bad day, at least 5 attacks are coming back at you. Of course, things can be worse than that. But that's best case scenario for me. Also, they have the Horde rule, which allows, normally you can only add +2 from your ranks. So the second rank and the third rank give you +1 to your combat resolution bonus. Horde allows a 4th rank to be added. So you get +3 in total. So it's +1 from the standard and +3. That's +4 to the combat resolution before a dice is rolled. Nothing to be sniffed at. As you'll see here, I have 2 of those units, as is pictured. 2 24-man skeleton warrior units, 2 Lich Priests, who will not be in the units, ideally, but be beside the units, further away from the enemy than the skeletons. That's the plan. Still able to cast magic, that's the plan, and able to raise dead. In other words, these are going to be my main units that are going to take punishment. They might not dish a lot of punishment out, but they're there to take punishment. The 2 Mortuary Priests are there to make sure they still continue to take punishment to the end of the game, which is entirely possible should the Mortuary Priests survive. The Mortuary Priest can bring back 2 + D3 skeletons every turn with the Arise. The Lich Priest can bring back 4 + D3 up to 7 skeletons a turn he can raise from the dead. That's potentially quite powerful, and I think quite important for me. Next up we have Skeleton Chariots. I have a unit of 3, as you can see. 2 of them are missing their crew. I've put them somewhere and can't find them. They'll come up. I'll find them at some point. I just couldn't tell you where they are right now. But anyway, regardless, they're still painted and they're still almost complete. They're ready to go. 3 Skeleton Chariots. The movement of 8. Unfortunately, they can't march, but the undead have an ability, a spell, which allows them to move a second time in the phase. So should I roll that spell, it'll be handy. And if I don't, it's not a big deal anyway. 8 movement's decent enough. And they have Swift Stride, so they can roll extra when they're charging. They have D3 impact hits, only strength 4, but 3d3 impact hits before anything else happens. Quite good. In the first game, they proved their worth, 141 points. and they done a severe amount of damage to a unit of Bretonnian Knights. I was very pleased with them. So that's the Chariots. Now we're on the points fillers. 6 skeleton horsemen. Not you. You. 6 skeleton horsemen. Really picked because there's 78 points for 6 of them, and I didn't want to pick a 4th of something else, which you'll see here in a minute. These guys aren't that good. They will be good on a flank. They're situational. Someone throws out a chaff unit, they can engage a chaff unit and hold their own. Against anything good, no, they'll die horribly, but they're only 78 points, so I'm not too worried about that. On the special units now. Necropolis Knights. I like these models so much that I had to pick them. Simple as that. 176 points for 3 models. Come with hand weapons, lashing tails, light armor, shields. So they have a 5+, 4+ saving throw. Sorry, light armor gives them 6. Shields gives them 5. However, they do have armored hide from the serpents, which gives them an additional +1. So they do have a 4+ saving throw. And a regeneration of 6+. So they're not bad. They can 3 wounds each. They should be able to take a bit of damage. Toughness 4. Cleaving blow, which is nice. They're armed with Capesh, so they have -1 to armor penetration. They're pretty good. They're pretty expensive, 176 points. As you can see, the Knight has 2 attacks. The Serpent has 3 attacks, so a potential of 15 attacks coming in. Should be pretty decent, I'm hoping. Hopefully they've got a little bit of staying power. Don't want them to die too quickly, if at all possible. Next, and here's where the fun begins. Tomb Scorpions. I've taken 3 Tomb Scorpions. It may be a bit cheesy, but allowed not to 3 per 1,000 points. I could have taken 6, but I'm not going to be that bad. But I did take 3. And the main reason I took 3 of these guys is because they have the Monster Slayer. Decapitating Claws gives them Monster Slayer. Which means any natural rolls of 6 when rolling the wound, boom, dead. Anything that is a monster is dead. Simple as that. They're 4 attacks each. That's strength 5. They're toughness 5 with 3 wounds. They can move 7. They're not bad. They're only 70 points. I've give 2 of them, sorry, come in at 75 points each. That's because I've given them Ambusher. It allows them to come on from different areas of the game table. So my hope is that if somebody brings a big bad dragon or something, I can at least get 1 or 2 scorpions into it and have a shot at killing it. Still might not kill it. They still might die horribly, but I'll have a go at it. And that's the Tomb Scorpions. 3 of them. Now we're on to the rare units. A Necrolith Colossus. Again, Bone Giant. Had to take him. Painted him. So I just think he's a cool model, and he's a big giant. Toughness 6, 5 wounds. 4 attacks. Stomp attacks. Causes terror. Unstoppable assault. Which is great. Unstoppable assault means any attacks that he hits with on an initial charge, he can immediately roll 1 additional attack for every 1 that hits. And that stacks. So if you're incredibly lucky with the dice, a giant can cause an incredible amount of attacks and damage in 1 turn. Again, it's unlikely, but it could happen. And that's the Necrolith Colossus. And lastly, in this army is Screaming Skull Catapult. And I've paid for Skulls of the Foe. Skulls of the Foe, until the start of your next subphase, any enemy unit that was within 2d6 of the center hole of the blast template after scattering suffers a -1 modifier to its leadership to a minimum of 2. So because people are going to be fighting undead, most of my stuff causes fear or terror. You don't really want to be taking leadership tests unless you have to. The Screaming Skull Catapult will make your tests at -1. If I'm fortunate. Feeling that, again, it's just a cool model. I enjoyed painting it. And I'll enjoy using it, I hope. It could collapse in the first turn. You can always roll that misfire. But it is what it is. Anyway, that's my 2,000 point army. Three characters. 2 main core units. Chariots, Horsemen, Necropolis Knights, Tomb Scorpions ×3. Necrolith Colossus and the Screaming Skull Catapult. I didn't take very many missile troops. I could have taken skeletons with bows. I could have taken horse archers, but I didn't. This is just the way I've chosen to build this army. Hopefully this has been of some use to you. I'm planning on doing a live stream on Friday night, which will be 28th of June. So the tournament's on Sunday, which is the 30th. I'm planning to live stream on Friday night, do a bit of painting with you guys, and hopefully get your thoughts on this army. Maybe some of you will have other ideas. Maybe some of you will give me ideas that I hadn't thought of. Again, I'm trying not to be a dick, but it's a wee bit dicky, the army. But at the end of the day, it's a tournament. So I'm expecting to run up against some horrific, cheesy stuff. And if I do, I do. No big deal. Hopefully I have a fun playing, and that's all I'm really asking. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I'm getting close to my initial goal of 1,000 subs, and it means the world to me, actually, that anybody is watching my video. Hopefully they've been of some use to someone, somewhere. I would like to thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience. And I will see you on Friday night. And if you can't make Friday night, don't worry about it. You can't make it. But I just know that I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate your comments in the comments section. And I will reply to every one of them, good or bad. Thank you, and have a great day.